I'd like to take a few minutes now and discuss the reference resource sets that you have to do throughout the course. There are 3 different reference resource sets. The first one covers chapters 5, 6, and 7 in your textbook. The second one covers chapters 4, 8, and 9. And the third and final resource set covers chapters 10, 11, and 12. The reference sets, you can think of them as quizzes on information from the textbook, but they're also a type of information scavenger hunt. So it will ask, you'll get specific pieces of information to find or questions to answer. And the idea here is that you're going to utilize the types of resources covered in each given chapter of the textbook. So for instance, the first set of set 1, and there are 3 chapters in each of the sets. So the first one covers chapter 5 in the textbook, which is encyclopedias. Chapter 6 is ready reference. Chapter 7 is dictionaries. So you will look specifically at these different types of resources in order to answer the questions. Please read the instructions very carefully for each of the sets. You are going to be asked to find and report information from reputable print or online reference sources. Use your textbook as a guide to appropriate sources. Reputable is the important part here. So the idea isn't for you to just go out on Google and Google all of these different things and find, random sources to answer the questions. You want to utilize the types of sources, and in some cases the exact sources that you're reading about in the textbook. The point of this is to get you familiar with the different types of reference resources that you're likely to be using when you're answering questions in a library. If you don't give complete answers as defined by the instructions, you may receive partial or no credit. So it's going to ask you not only to answer the question, but to give a citation, not necessarily in a particular format, but you'll be asked to provide the title of the book or the author. If it's an online resource, you'll be asked to provide the URL, etc. So keep that in mind. Don't panic. The quizzes are not timed, so you can take as long as you need within the due date of each of the quizzes. You do only get 1 attempt though for the quiz. Now that just means that once you've submitted an answer to a given question, you can't go back and resubmit a different answer. So while you can go in and take a look at each of the questions, as long as you don't answer it and submit an answer, you always have the option of saving and coming back in order to answer unanswered questions later. So you can really take your time on this. The quizzes are all of different lengths and different points values, so don't think, well, the first reference set only took me 45 minutes, so the second set will be the same. They're not the same, so keep that in mind. Plan ahead, start early, meaning before the deadline. Some are going to be more challenging than others. Some of the resources you might already be familiar with, some of them you will not be. The only other thing I would say is be aware of the deadlines. Make sure you know when each of them is due and get things submitted on time. If you have questions, of course, at any time, please email me. These reference resource sets are very, very important to this class because it allows you to take the information that you're reading in the book and the information from the rest of the course, and to apply it to actually searching for information. So this is the applied part. It's the practice, so that you can get into these resources and get your hands on them. Now obviously you're going to have to find a library with a reference collection. I would suggest that you utilize both print and online reference collections. So find a local library with reference materials, and also utilize their electronic reference collection. Or if they don't have much of one, you can always utilize the Western Dakota Text Library's online reference resources. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know well in advance of any of the deadlines, and hopefully you'll enjoy this part of the class. Thanks so much.